Today we need to talk about Jadon Haselwood and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about wide receiver Jadon Haselwood. Those of you that watched Oklahoma play Houston saw Jadon Haselwood make his first grab and then take it for some yak. Went for 42 yards. He ended the night with 2 catches, 46 yards. And that was his opening salvo as a wide receiver at Oklahoma. Now, it's open to question as to which one of the 5-star wide receivers is going to be the guy that CeeDee Lamb turned out to be, that Marquise Brown turned out to be, that D.D. Westbrook turned out to be, Sterling Shepard, on and on. But there were lots of folks that were very high on Jadon Haselwood, even as it seemed like Trejan was the guy that was making the most of his opportunities in the first 8 months. And I have been out and saying Theo Wease looked like the best ready-made pro of the group coming out of Allen, Texas. Kyler Murray came out of Allen, Texas. Bobby Evans came out of Allen, Texas, and lots of other guys, Lee Morris among them. But Haselwood had always captured everybody's imagination. By everybody, I mean OU fans, because he was a kid that was committed to Georgia for a long time, that had ties to Oklahoma, and it looked like for everything he was going to stick with his commitment to Georgia. And then he flipped his commitment to Oklahoma, and there you have this group of wide receivers that has been unforeseen, that is now the thing to see, especially when you got Spencer Rattler as the quarterback. Now, Rattler still hasn't played any, right? There's folks that still want to see Spencer play. But I always thought that Haselwood, for me, was a bit of an enigma because you'd hear stories about him showing out in camp, and you'd hear stories about what he could do at practice, but you hear stories about a lot of kids, especially as freshmen. Whether or not they see the field, when they see the field, do they actually act like they belong? Do they play like they belong? Haselwood not only acted and played like he belonged, he nearly took his first catch to the house. Okay, he nearly did exactly what we all thought he could do given the opportunity. Especially with all of the pomp and circumstance that surrounded him, you're not necessarily wanting to pencil him in, but he seems to have wanted to pencil himself in. I really didn't buy into all of the hype. My buddy Brandon has been way out in front on the Haselwood stuff. I've been higher on guys like Bridges and or Wease, but Cam Newton, take it for what you will, called Jadon Haselwood the most dominant player he's ever witnessed. Now, Cam also had Jadon Haselwood on his 7-on-7 squad, and he got to see him up close. He could also be pumping up this guy. But I'm not going to take it lightly. I'm not going to take it lightly coming from an MVP quarterback, a guy that won a national championship, and has an argument to be the best college football player who ever lived. If he tells you that a wideout can play, believe that the wideout can play. And did come in as a true freshman and do what he did is not an easy task. It's never going to be an easy task to live up to the hype that people put in front of you, because that's the purpose of hype, right? It is to be hyperbole. It is to be an exaggeration. But if Jadon Haselwood turns out to be the kind of guy that catches 100 balls a year and goes for 1,400 yards in a season, it'll be what he was supposed to do. If he doesn't, people will call him a dud. But I just want you to take into account those catches that he had, see what he did on a stage, on a national stage, when you were the only college football game on television, and see that he lived up to the moment and he was ready for it, along with a bunch of other true freshmen. Matter of fact, I've started doing the red shirt tracker over at OUinsider.com, and we found guys like Theo Wease, like Marcus Stripling, David Ugwebu, Jadon Haselwood, Austin Stogner, on and on. You can check the list. All got playing time. But not a whole lot of them got playing time on the offense. That dude did. And playing time is a fickle thing, right? We all want it. We all want to see our guy get an opportunity to go out there. But it's a fickle thing because just because you're playing doesn't mean you're going to get the ball. Wide receiver is a dependent position. It means you are dependent on the quarterback to throw you the ball. You're dependent on an offensive coordinator to try to draw up plays that are specific for you, even as he's drawing up other routes for other players who might be open, might not be open. And even if you're open, there's no guarantee that the quarterback is, one, going to agree with you that you're open, or two, doesn't just flat out miss you. Even CeeDee Lamb got flat out missed by Jalen Hurts against Houston on Sunday night. I think that with Jadon Haselwood, though, what he was able to do well was what Charleston Rambo was able to do well, which was get open in the middle of the field. That's a part of the field that feels like Jalen Hurts does his best work as a passer within. And it's part of the field I expect Lincoln Riley to continue to try to attack with these very talented receivers. They're not just talented because they can run. They're talented because they can catch the ball and then run. Remember, it wasn't just Jadon Haselwood that was able to catch the ball and do something after it. Be about your yak, young man. Charleston Rambo, he is about his yak. And I think that you're going to have to be about your yak. And I'm not talking about, cognac. There's the joke. There it was. I'm saying that you have to be about taking the ball and then making a 14-yard gain into a touchdown, making a 3-yard game into a explosive play. Because that's the kind of quarterback that Jalen Hurts is. Play doing to his strengths is what's going to have to work, and that's another reason why the wide receiver position is dependent on the quarterback, because you could have a guy that can absolutely run a go route, but if you don't have a quarterback that can throw him the go route, doesn't matter, right? Being a wide receiver is also difficult because you're expected to perform anytime the ball is within your vicinity, and you're not going to have a whole lot of opportunities to do it. If you get 10 targets during a game, that's 10 opportunities to catch a football. You catch 8 of them, it's still not considered very good. You're supposed to catch all 10. 9 out of 10, fine. We're going to talk about the one that you didn't catch. But if you got 10 targets and you didn't get 100 yards, we're going to start to wonder, hey, man, should we be throwing the ball all over the rest of the yard? Because there's some guy that could do something with it that you're just not able to do. Just saying that I think you should really give some thought to what Jadon Haselwood was able to do in a sea of other guys catching balls, something like 10 other receivers caught a football. Give some thought to what Charleston Rambo was able to do. 3 catches for over 100 yards. That's remarkable, considering the opportunities that he had when he came into the game and what he needed to do to get that amount of yardage on those few catches. All right, that's it for me.